What's up guys, Syiler here, and we are back with the next part of our leveling series, part 2, and you might notice I'm level 10 and I'm in Westfall. So I started recording this yesterday, and we got partway into the recording, and my fraps wigged out, crashed, and the file was corrupt. So I couldn't really, I couldn't save it. So I decided to just scrap it. We'll carry on from level 10. And we'll go from there. I mean, all you pretty much missed was me get 2 levels and pick Beast Mastery spec, and then run all the way to Westfall. So you didn't really miss too much. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about a holiday I had to Magaluf, depending on how long it takes to go through that. And then if not, if I finish it early, oh, what the hell? Rude. Finish it early, then I want to talk about like WoW at the moment, and how I feel about the game and Legion and stuff, and if not, that'll be next episode. So, about 3 years ago, 2 years ago? I think it was 3 years ago, goddamn, time flies. I went on a holiday to Magaluf, which is a place in Spain. It's like a party place. A lot of 18 to 25-year-olds go there. And you get drunk, you dance, you party, that kind of stuff. It's a party, location. I went with some people I've known for really since BC and World of Warcraft, and I met them online, and we went on a holiday, and it was a good laugh. There was me, Perry, and Harry, and then Harry brought two of his friends as well. So there was 5 of us total. Me and Perry were sharing a room, like a hotel room, and then Harry and his 2 friends shared a room. So we booked it so that we'd all get our own travel there, and then me and Perry were gonna he'd wait at the airport for a little bit, and we booked a coach for us to get. So I get to the airport really excited. Obviously it's not very fun traveling on a plane alone. Get on the plane, and I'm only behind a goddamn I'm looting a cramp. I'm only behind in front of a stag do. And it wasn't just your typical stag do. It was a load of older men. They were already drunk. And they were proper mank lads. 30, 40-year-old oh yeah, look at this fit air hostess in it. I'd fuck her right in the ass and the fanny, those types. They were being rowdy, they were throwing stuff, they were just acting like complete tits. It was unfortunate. So I felt like I was back in school, because they randomly would pull my ear or something, because I was trying to have a sleep so they'd hopefully leave me alone and show up, but none of it. So luckily it's only a short flight, so I got through the flight and get off the coach, get my luggage, get off the plane, get my luggage, find Perry, and we find out where our coach is. Get on the coach, and only the goddamn stag do is on the same coach. So the coach driver's sorry, it's gonna be delayed. We've got to wait for everyone else. For some reason, all the planes landed, but some of the people were lost or something. So the stag do wasn't happy. They're we've been on a plane for 3 hours, and now you want us to wait here? Nah, mate, nah. They're kicking off and shit. So it's just oh my god, really, are we 5? You can't wait 20, 30 minutes on a coach? I mean, in fairness, it was hot. The guy hadn't put on the heating, but that's no reason to act like a complete tool. So we're waiting. The coach driver goes off to try and find out where these people are that we're missing. So one of the guys gets up, sits in the coach driver's seat, and the keys are still in the thing. So he's yeah, we should just drive there ourselves, innit? Which is going to be a disaster. So he turns the engine on and starts trying to drive it. And luckily the coach driver came back. And I'm just get me out, help, call 911. And so then he takes the keys out. Actually, no, we had air conditioning until the guy bloody tried to drive the coach. I remember now. Yeah, we had air conditioning in the coach. That's why the keys were in the coach, so the engine was on. And one of the guys tried to drive the coach, and then the guy came over and took the keys completely and warned them and said, if you do something like that again, you're gone. So after that, they were oh, sod this, we're out, I'm not sitting here on the heat for 20-minute like. So some of them went off in a taxi, some of them walked, some of them decided to be civilized people for 20 minutes and just wait. So after that, it wasn't too bad. We got to the hotel. It was quite a nice looking hotel. It was Mallorca Rocks, if you've ever heard of it. And the Kaiser Chiefs are playing, and they have like events going on. It was a cool hotel. Not like expensive or anything. It was cheap, but you're not going to stay in like a 5-star hotel. You're just going to get drunk. So we get there, I sign in. I get to the counter, speaking to the guy. He's just like, no. I'm like, what? No. What do you mean? What do you mean? No. So he has to get the English like holiday rep over, and she's like, oh yeah, you're not in this hotel. What do you mean I'm not in this hotel? What do you mean? So it ends up, luckily it wasn't too far away, it was just down the road, but there's another like Mallorca Rocks, and that was the one that we were at. So we had to drag our luggage to this other one, and this one wasn't anywhere near as pretty. It was like down this road that was a bit sketchy on its own, a bit dirty looking. The pool was like filthy, but luckily we could go to the main hotel and just stay in there through the day or whatever. So that was okay at least. And it's not really like we were in the hotel very much, because you're not really there. You're only there to sleep and get ready. So we got some food, shopping, had a look around, see what was nearby. Got some like drink and stuff in, because it was self-catering. And we were waiting for Harry. We tried contacting him. He should have landed. Can't get through to him. We tried the hotel, and it was booked under one of his friends' name that we didn't know, so we couldn't actually find him. So it got to about 11 o'clock, and we were just like, you know what? Let's just call it a night. Have a good night now. Rest up, and then we'll make the most of it over the next 6 days. So it sounded like a decent plan. Like, we don't just want to go out when we don't really know the place. And we'd already arrived at like 7 PM or something, so let's add an early kip and make the most of the next few days. So it turns out we found Harry the next day, and he's hungover. It turns out they'd went out and they didn't even let us know, or apparently even tried to let us know. So waited for them to recover a little bit, hung around the pool, having some drinks, and we went to BCM's that night, which is like this really big club. You pay like 40 euros and you get access to the club, all drinks for the night. So it's pretty value. And it's really, really good. Like, it's huge. There's loads of people. Everyone there is just kind of like, no one has an ego. Like, if you go out in Manchester, everyone has this kind of like thing they're trying to prove. Like, they've got this ego. Like, oh yeah, I'm hard, innit? While over there, they weren't too bad. Like, everyone was just out to have a good time. No one was looking to start drama or whatever. I mean, we seen one fight, and it was literally just some guy pushed another guy, and it was like, watch it, bruv, and then it was like their friends came over and kind of disbanded the fight. Like, that was about the most violent thing we seen while we were there. So with that, we come back. Oh, we're on our way back home. Harry starts kicking off with one of his friends because he's drunk, and we get back to the hotel room, just to like, you know, chill out for a little bit. It was like it was probably about 4 AM, and they end up having this argument, and then Harry's like, "You think I'm a little bitch? You think I'm like a little wimp? I tell you what, I'll go get my tongue pierced right now. I'll show you that I'm not a little wimp." So he storms out. So I go after him because no one else seemed to bother. So I'm walking with him, and I'm trying to talk him out of, like, getting his tongue pierced on the first night, which is most likely going to be a disaster, because you're going to go to some cheap place, you're probably going to get, like, an infection, and it's going to be GG. So I'm trying to talk him out of it, and I sit him down on a bench. I'm like, look, you don't want to get this done. I know you're not a little bitch. He's like, oh, yeah, but you let them know. I would have got that done if it wasn't for you. I was like, yeah, I'll let them know. I'm sure they'll care. So I managed to talk him out of it, and he doesn't get his tongue pierced on the very first night, which is good. And they were all good. Like, the next day, they were both just drunk, but it was pretty funny because I was drunk, and when I'm drunk, I become more of like a feel responsible for people. So I'm trying to like break up the fight and stuff. And it turns out they just like do that pretty much all the time. So luckily he didn't get his tongue pierced. That was good. So then the next day, or a day or so after, we're sat in their hotel room on the like balcony having some drinks before we start like get ready to go out for the night. And the way the balcony was, it's on the very edge. So when you're coming up the elevator and you're walking past, people can see into your like balcony. So this Irish guy who was about 30 odd, he was muscly, and he was pretty scary looking. He's like, "Oi lads!" I'm not gonna do a very good Irish accent. I'm just gonna put that out there right now. But you know, he's like, "Oi lads, you got any hair product for me?" And we're all just like to Harry, like, because we weren't really in sight, but Harry was, and we're all just like, "No, Harry, no," you know. And Harry's like, yeah, I got some product for you, innit, bruv? So he lets this guy in, doesn't just give him some product like at the door, he lets him in, and this guy sat down with us doing his hair, like well, we're all sat around him, and he's telling us about like, yeah, I was in the army, and God, that sounded more Manc than Irish. He's going on about like the fight, like the places he got deployed and things that you had to do, and it's just like, oh yeah, great, yeah, don't kill us, please. Have to take everything, take the hair product, go away. And the worst part was he barely had any hair. That was the spookiest bit. The guy wanted to come in, and there could have been people hiding around the door or something. Like, it could have been a lot worse than it looked. But the guy had barely any hair, so it was very like suspicious. It was like, why does this guy need hair product again? And then once he was done, he was like, "Oh, sweet lads, I'll catch you later. Have a good one." And it's like, "Yeah, I'm alive. I'll take it." Like, it was a bit spoofer. So after that, we meet up with some. What the hell? Why is so many people here? I guess we'll accept this. So we end up meeting this group of like Liverpool girls. So we start going to their place for pre-drinks and stuff. And one of these nights, we're doing like shots and stuff. And Harry's just like, he's had a couple of shots, he sat down, and he always wore these like really, really small shorts. Like, I don't know what it is with him, but he likes really, I mean, most people would say he's gay, but he swears against it. And he's had girlfriends and stuff, but sometimes it's a little bit, you know, questionable. But he wears these really, really small shorts that could be women's, like, you know, I mean, they probably were women's, to be honest. I know he wears women's jeans, but he's just sat there and he kind of like slides his, like, opens his leg a little bit, and his friggin' willy pops out of his goddamn short pant leg because they're that short. And it's like, great, you know, the next thing ticked off this holiday, you know, all the things that I wanted to see, all the beach and stuff, the clubs, and Harry's penis. Yeah, I'm glad that's been ticked off. And he just laughs it off and just leaves it. It's like, oh, okay. That's good. Although this one, there was out of the group of like Liverpool girls, there was this one that was a bit chunker, and she wanted Harry, you could tell. And once you seen that, like, it was, you could see the lust. So I don't even know if anything even happened between those two. But anyway, so the next night after that, we end up in their room again, and Harry's bald, and I brought, for those who don't watch my live stream or used to watch it quite a while ago and I used to be more active, I used to have a wig on stream that was basically there for when we were doing drunk streams or anything kind of special, and I took it with me to Magaluf. And Perry's bald, well, he has a shaved head, so we thought it would be funny to give him the wig. So I go back to the apartment, get the wig, put it on him, and we go out to BCM's for the night. You know, all get drunk and have a good laugh. And we drank a lot before we went out that night. Like, it was probably the most we drank. So we end up going to BCM's, and one thing, you know, everyone's drinking, everyone kind of like goes the separate ways at one point. And it gets to about 4, and I start walking home. And I end up with a girl and go back to her place and stuff. But that's the story for another day, because that didn't turn out quite as I'd planned. But that's a story for another day. That one. And it gets to like, I end up back at my place at like 6. And I get there, go to the room, and Perry's not there. So then, because I'm slightly older than Perry, a couple of years, I felt, responsible for him. So I'm like, crap, where is he? So I walk out, I walk to Harry's apartment, I get no answer. I'm walking around, I'm just about to get back to the apartment, and I bump into him. And he's like, where have you been? I've been looking for you, I've been looking for everyone. I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, I just, I was with someone. And he was like, I got mugged in it. I was like, oh no, are you hurt? Are you okay? And he was like, yeah, no, I'm fine. Okay, what did they take? Did they take your phone, your wallet, your money, keys? No, none of that. Okay, so what did they take? They were like, oh, they robbed the wig from me. I was like, really? That's what you classed as being mugged? And so he explains, and he says some girl was dancing with him, and she's like took the wig off him, put it on, and then she's just buggered off. She's just gone and done her own thing, being drunk, and probably on drugs. And he classed that as being mugged, and I was like, well, I'm glad you count that as being mugged, because it means you've not had to deal with anything proper. So luckily that wasn't too bad. And then we got back to Harry's place, and they're all back now, so we explained the story, and they were like, yeah, one of the guys was called Sonny, he was like, yeah, Perry rings me, and I'm on the beach with a girl, and he's like, I've been mugged, and I'm like, oh no, I'll come for you, what have they mugged? And he tells me it's just a wig, and I start peeing myself laughing and put the phone down. And I was like, yeah, it was pretty funny. So that ends up being Perry being mugged, which unfortunately means the wig was rest in peace. Like, an era came to an end, which was kind of sad. I'd had that wig since I was 18, and I got it from 18th and wore it on a night out. But the end of the wig era came to an end that day, unfortunately. And then past that, nothing too crazy happened. Towards the end of the holiday, like, the rest of the nights were kind of normal. And then towards the end of the holiday, Harry was like loved up with this one girl, and he went drunk one night, went and got a bloody matching tattoo with her, which was, oh my god. Oh wait, let's get in the Reaper. Actually, it's probably quicker to just kill them, but so he gets, but not only a matching tattoo, he gets a bloody like unicorn on his side, so he's got that forever. That'll be a good memory for him. So he's got a unicorn tattoo now. And then the Kaiser Chiefs played. A lot of girls decided to take the tops off for the Kaiser Chiefs. I was a fan. I'm fine with that. And yeah, that was pretty much all the crazy stuff happened. And then we were only there for a week, obviously, because I'm not someone who goes out very often. So a week was definitely enough for me. A week felt a bit too much, in honesty. Like, towards the end of it, I was starting to feel a bit dead, because we'd literally just been drinking all day. We'd wake up, drink at the night, go to sleep, wake up, have like an hour to recover, drink again. So it was a bit over the top for someone who doesn't like drink too often. But it was definitely a laugh. I'd love to do something similar again. And then on the very last day, obviously they fine you if your apartment's not in good shape, but we didn't really do anything in our apartment. Like, we didn't have any parties or anything in there, so ours was fine. It was always Harry's that we'd go in. Like, theirs was a mess, to put it the least. But ours was okay. And then on the very next day, keep in mind, we're on the top floor of this hotel, which was about maybe 10 stories high, I think. We're on the top floor, and all of a sudden, we're packing up to go away, making sure everything's in order, and all of a sudden, this other Irish guy climbs into our balcony And the only way to do it is to basically, like, shimmy yourself across the ledge. And he comes into the apartment and he's like, "You're right, lads." Once again, the same Irish voice. "I've been looking for my pal. Have you seen him?" I'm like, "Who? What?" He's like, "Oh, he must be in the next one." And I'm like, do you want to use our door and, you know, knock on?" He's like, "No, it'd be grand," and fucking starts climbing over. And I'm like, oh god, if this guy, like, wrecks the apartment or kills himself, I don't know. It was spoopy though. I just expected it. So then I locked the door, like, shut the porch door and locked it just so he couldn't come in and do anything to the apartment. Worst case, he was gonna break some chairs. But man, some people are mental. Like, he was clearly a bit drunk as well, so it was a bit spoopy. Like, he could easily fall off. But it was a struggle to climb to the next apartment. It wasn't an easy thing to do at all. So him just like climbing around like a monkey, I don't know, it was a bit spooky. And then that was like the end of the holiday, really. We just, you know, had the final night. Some DJ was playing. I can't remember the name of him, but we had to. Our flights were at like 6 a.m. the next morning, so when it got to about 11, we were just like, yeah, we're just gonna call it a day here. I don't really want to be hungover for the flight going home. I know, to be honest, at that point, I was done with drinking. I'd had enough, so I was like, yeah, gonna get an early night, recover, get my plane home tomorrow. And yeah, that was the end. Nothing really eventful happened on the way home. It was literally just flying on a plane and getting our way back home. It was definitely a laugh though. Harry and Perry, but Harry especially is some of you will know him from like my stream and stuff, because I usually always have him around every once in a while. Usually always every once in a while. When he's around, he's a difficult guy to keep up with, but when he's around, I usually get him on playing some like League or something. But I'm sure if you watch him or watch his stream, you'd laugh. I'm sure you'd enjoy it a lot. So if you've got some time, go check out twitch.tv Chav Gaming. He doesn't stream too often, but I think it's worth following him because it'll be a laugh when you watch his stream. He's an interesting guy. But yeah, that was pretty much the end of the holiday. I'd like to do something like that again. I mean, the last holiday I went on was, well, I think it was actually that one. I've been abroad since, but they've not really been holidays. Like, obviously I went to the Falklands, I've been to the Philippines, but they're not quite. They were more for other reasons rather than being on a holiday. So yeah, that was the story of Magaluf. I kind of thought it would be a bit more funny to tell, but it's one of those things where you had to be there. But hopefully you enjoyed some of the stories that happened in Magaluf. It was definitely eventful. Well, it was semi-eventful. Like, it was enough. It was definitely a lot of memories. It was worth going. And this episode is 23 minutes long, so I guess next episode we'll talk about World of Warcraft stuff. Probably be a bit more boring, bit more serious, but I know a few people want to know what I think of WoW at the moment and what I think of Legion, especially because I've been playing Legion Alpha, so I wouldn't mind giving my thoughts on that one. So watch out for that one, or avoid that one if you don't want to hear about WoW. But that's probably what we'll do next episode. Managed to get to level 13, but literally, we're not trying to rush the leveling. Like, this is more just of a way for me to chill and chat, you know? So, thanks for watching, guys. Look out for more videos coming soon. See ya.